Right, guys, welcome back to episode number 7 of the Beautiful Struggle podcast. First of all, thank you for everyone that's been tuning in to the previous episodes, both on YouTube, Spotify, liking, commenting, subscribing, 5-star rating, following, all that shit you need to do these days.
Wouldn't expect anything else, would we, Jay? Come on.
Hope it continues, because
fingers crossed.
We need to get more eyes on the podcast, because then we can have more guests and we can start improving it a little bit more. We got a nice little addition behind Giant's head.
Hey. Jay's mixing it up. He's going for it.
We're on our way.
It's getting there, man. I think we've found our flow.
Yeah.
So now we've got to see what it's like with a guest. A whole new challenge and experience for
us. Yeah. So we always had the direction that we wanted to go in was bringing guests on. Obviously, logistically, it's going to be a task. But we wanted to deliver something of a higher standard. So, and with bringing guests on, we can chop shit up all day long. But bringing other people on, they can bring something more to the podcast, tell their story, what they've been through, bring some more wisdom to the podcast. And I think today's guest, in terms of like wisdom, he's like the pinnacle of wisdom.
Yeah, man, he's very...
he's up there.
The voice of reason.
He is very deep as the ocean. He's got a way of articulating things like in a way I've never heard before. Like, for instance, he's compared someone winning a pro card to a guy walking through a desert with no clothes on to me in the past. We'll get into it, I'm sure. But he is, I'm proud to call him a friend. He's a client. He's a teammate as such as well.
Yeah.
And in true Drink Champs fashion, motherfucker, welcome Young 4040, aka Oscar Young. And there we have the hand clap.
Yeah. Applause.
Here we go.
One intro, thank you.
There we go, bro.
Thank you. I'm honoured to be guest number 1. I love a microphone. I can just run my mouth. But seriously, it's an honor. Obviously, like with Jamie, it was like, come down one day. You say things in passing. We have to train, and we have to do this, and we have to do this. So when this opportunity came up, I had to take it up for so many reasons to come see Jamie, and just spend the day together. For me, it's my life. My priorities, my relationships. So. Taking a day off work and doing stuff like this, that's what I'm about, investing in my relationships. And I realize I cannot be fruitful by myself. So investing in my relationships is what has got me where I am. And I just intend to keep doing that because my sanity depends a lot on the state of my relationships. So for me to come here, spend time with yourself, with Jamie, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
The wisdom is deep already.
Yes, we've gone straight in. No messing
I think
around.
Oscar would be the perfect friend that you'd want around a campfire.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you could have the banjo, strumming some chords, and I'll just be sat there listening deeply,
soaking it up,
asking Oscar some questions about life and future.
Well,
that's a very, very interesting insight for somebody who obviously is very focused on himself and his own goals as well, because nature of bodybuilding is it's quite an individual sport, but you're very obviously in tune with the fact that it's extremely important to you, very high on your value system, that you look after your friends, build relationships. And is that something that's been there from a young age, or?
Yes, which I think brings me to my story, which is my mom passed away when I was very young. I'd have been maybe 15, so majority of my life I've grown up with my friends. I am where I am because of a lot of friends today. So for me, it's always been very important. I have made mistakes. I've taken people for granted when I was younger, and I've lost good people. So majority of my thinking has been obviously to learn from past mistakes. As you said, you spoke about wisdom, and people ask, where does wisdom come from? And I think it's an accumulation of mistakes. That's where you get wisdom from the mistakes that you made previously. So for me, I hold on to people who I value with both hands, and that's what I said, it's got a correlation with my sanity, I should say. So even, obviously, we had a hiccup with travel today, and Jamie texted me and said, you know, something like, are you sure it's not too much? And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, this man got an Uber from Manchester.
That's commitment.
Which ain't cheap, because we're in Derby, you know, a good hour and a half drive, because the trains were cancelled. Anyone else, I think most people would have said, not today.
Well, when we were in like Tunisia, going back to the issues that we had out there with travel from the airport to finding the hotel with the frigging taxi guy that we had and stuff, and even at the peak of prep, where you're like a couple of days out, most people would have gone to bits and just, they would have put, in fact, most people would have probably put it on me to say, mate, I can't deal with this, I'm fucking 3 days out. Can you just deal with the situation? But Oscar was just like, it is what it is. I'm just going to take it. And that's probably come from the lessons that you've been in the past, where you've kind of lost your shit, and then
the other thing is, you know, it's like you just gotta go. If the stream is flowing downhill, just go flow with it. I think the problems come when people try to swim against the tide. I looked at that train, it was cancelled, and my thinking is, I've only missed it if I was chasing it. If I wasn't chasing it, then I've not missed it. At what point, I'm like, okay, what's the next option? Which brings me to the guy who stood in the platform with me. And together we put heads together, and I'm here today.
Oh, so it was a random guy that you come down with?
Yeah,
I thought he was like a friend.
No, just
I thought he was just a friend or something.
Because things happen as they're meant to happen. I was probably meant to come here that way. So, you know, it's like, the rest is just details on here, and that's what matters.
It was meant to be.
I think that's an important message as well, isn't it? It's important to be able to adapt to situations, because they're not always going to go to plan.
100%. And I think a lot of our problems come because we try and, you know, as human beings, I think we're control freaks, and, you know, want to control all outcomes.
Especially bodybuilders.
Especially bodybuilders. And some outcomes are simply out of our control. And it's just having, you know, accepting. Once you accept that, then, you know, it's not too much stress. You just sort of roll with it, and that's the first battle. That once you get over, then life becomes simpler. Life's already as hard as it is. So with you trying to control everything that you can't control, it just gets harder.
I'm always saying to clients, and I believe now, being more experienced in life in general, that one of the most important factors for my progress in life and bodybuilding, and this is what I try and get across to my clients, is managing stress. And one of the most important factors of managing stress is just really not getting stressed about things that are out of your control. Like
100%.
It's happened.
Yes.
Let's deal with it.
Let's
keep stepping forwards.
And
there's definitely a solution.
Yes. Let's be solution focused. Let's not dwell on that's happened. That's spilt milk. Right. What's the solution to that? And the energy you spend grumbling or being in the mood, or just, you know, being upset or angry, it could be spent on finding a solution, which there always is. If it's not the end, you know, if you're still there, then it's not the end.
You know? And I always find as well, people get annoyed about trivial shit.
100%.
It's nothing. Maybe someone drops a slice of bread when they're trying to make the toast. Chuck it in the bin. Wipe it off, put it in the toaster, whatever you want to do. Why are you getting stressed about it? But like Jay touched on, do you think that your management of stress is because you've had harder times in the past, and you realise that, I always look at it this way, I always think there's someone worse off than me, someone far worse off that's dealing with their situation better than I am. I'm not going to get stressed about my little bit of shit here. Are you like, because that's new to me, Oscar. About your mum, I didn't know about that. So, that goes to show that our relationships have been built and forged in bodybuilding, and you know, we've perhaps not had the time together to discuss past relations and what's happened and stuff like that. Are you willing to go more into like the upbringing from the start?
Yes.
One of my questions was like talking about your heritage and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm from Kenya, which is in East Africa. For guys who don't know, East Africa. So that's on one side we have Tanzania, on the other side we have Uganda. So my mom passed away. I was 15. Back then, I'm the youngest. Most people who followed me for a long time know that's something I've barely recovered from, because it's something I'm talking about all the time. So I have 4 sisters who are all older. So one passed away with cancer. So it was, and there will be people watching this who have had family members or friends, and they know what how that really is. It takes its toll. I was younger, so I didn't understand things very well. So a lot of things are making sense to me as I'm older now, and as I know more about it, and as I've experienced it through other friends who've had it when I'm older. But it's a bitch, mate, because it gives you like hope. So I remember mom coming back home, and my friends who I grew up with were like, they were buzzing for me, even though we didn't speak of it at depth like now. They were just happy. They said, oh, your mom's home, blah 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 blah. But my mom was a very good cook, and she was like, oh, maybe you should tell her to cook for us. And I remember going home and saying to my mom, my friends would like you to cook for them, and so she put out a big spread, which like it wasn't said, but it was like a party for her being back home, so my friends, everyone coming, we had a big scran. It was a beautiful day. Shortly after that, I think it was 2 weeks, she felt a bit unwell, rushed back to hospital, maybe another 7 days, withered away, and then boom, bish, like it was just it was like bish bosh bash, boom, done, gone.
Wow.
So I've tried to make sense of it, which is why I don't try anymore. But like I looked at that, her coming home was just to come to say goodbye. And those are the memories that I take with me. Even at the funeral, I didn't sit in a hearse. I didn't go view the body or anything, because for me, I always believed my mom was doing that coffin, because she sort of moved in me. So tough times. So then I had to mop out everything from there, because my sisters sort of just vanished back. They were not living in Kenya, they were living in South Africa at the moment. So back, stayed with my friends, lived rough a bit. And then, then one of my aunties obviously was willing to help and put me into college. So I went into college a bit, then found a space in what is now Reading University. It was Reading College back then. And then I went there, I did a diploma in photography.
The original magic eye.
I was a mini magic then in the making, and and that was that. Then as I come out, I was with a girl then. Reading was only a small town. Then she was like, "Let's move to Manchester." I remember saying, "Fucking Manchester, just what's up there? It's just cows and sheep."
Cows.
That's the mentality you have when you're down south, close to London. So, but anyway, long story short, I moved up to Manchester. It was love at first sight, and that's where I've been since. But so majority of my outlook is based on that gap between when my mum passed away and me making it to the UK and living in the UK. So half of the stuff that people moan about here for me, based on what I've seen and what I've been through personally, is trivial. Because you're 16 years old, right? Imagine yourself, you're 16 years old, so say Jamie's my mate. I've been to Jamie's now, been kicking it here at his parents' house, assuming Jamie's living with his parents. Then it's got to 7, and it's people are starting to sort of settle down. Jamie's mum's like, oh, Jamie, go have a shower then,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm having to get out. Like, yeah, Oscar, see you later.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Just on the streets.
Yeah, I'm just walking about and it's getting dark and you're young, so it's like anything could have happened to me,
Yeah.
but God forbid nothing did, and
It's crazy, man.
and that's why I roll with so much faith, because I think I've been in situations that were dangerous, and just looking back into that, it gives my life more meaning, when I feel when your life meaning is that instinct that gives you purpose, because everyone who has a why will always find a how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I say about you, Os, is that you've been through all this because you're still relatively young as well. So you've been through all that, and you don't talk about it. You don't put it out there. You don't use it as a crutch. And you see so many people on social media these days, if they've gone through some sort of, nothing compared to what you've been through, but some sort of issue or whatever, they're using it as a crutch. They're putting it all over social media. They're plastering it everywhere. But you obviously keep it in here and in here. And from obviously working with you over the last couple of years, filming and stuff, I think just because how I operate with things, I feel it's a bit of a driving force when it comes to the sessions and where you need to go, because we've all got that little place that we have to go.
Yep.
And I think with what you've been through, that's kind of where you can tap into it.
Yep. And it's fine, like everyone's different. Some people find solace in just putting their business out there and talking about it, and that's fine. I don't begrudge anyone for it, because we all cope with things differently. Personally, I like to use my experiences to help other people. So I prefer to keep them to myself until a situation requires me to tell someone my story, to then give them perspective and make them feel better about what it is they're going through. As opposed to, it'd be easy for me it wouldn't be wrong for me to put it out and write about it, but what you get is a lot of pity.
Yeah.
I don't need pity. I got 2 arms, 2 legs, perfectly healthy. I'm living my dream life. Look at today, I've come out, open my closet, I'm like, fucking, what shoes should I wear?
You got some Jordans as well.
Yeah, I thought I'd put some Travis Scotts on.
Yeah, why not? Just
Why
Travis
not,
Scott. Just rub it in.
Yeah, miss a train, fancy sharing an Uber, so all these are just blessings, so I've got nothing to moan about, I've got nothing to complain about. I don't want anyone to feel pity for me. There's a very thin line between pity and empathy, and most people feel pity for you, and that can drop you into that victim mentality, and it becomes addictive when people feel sorry for you, and it doesn't help anyone. So personally, if there's someone who I can share my story with to help them, then that's what I'll always do. But other than that, I just like to keep things and crack on like anyone else, because as bad as I've had it, trust me, there's someone who's had it worse. Yeah, there's a guy who, very well known IFBB pro, very successful. He walks into FLF on Saturday. I'm preparing to train. We've never spoke, of each other. Say hello. How are you doing? I seen your brother's ill. Why is he ill? He says to me, he's ill with brain cancer. He's got so many days to live. So I think shit. So I put my logbook down. I say, come in. He's paying for their guest pass. He comes around the table. We sit at the table. 2.5 hours we're talking. Right? I find out he only lost his mom to cancer 2 years ago. His brother's got terminal disease. 2 years before he lost his mom, he lost his dad with cancer as well.
Wow.
And
I know who you're talking about, and I see him plugging away on his. Like, he's still going at it on his, doing his thing.
Yeah, but you just don't know. You just, you don't know what people are going through.
No.
And that's why I always think, we need to be more patient with each other. And we could do with more encouragement, regardless of anyone standing in a social status. We're just all human. We want to be loved. If we have kids, we want them to do well. We want to be accepted with our flaws.
Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to go far wrong if you have that mentality, or you try and lift other people up with you.
That's how it should be, innit?
Yeah. Definitely. I think you've mentioned that victim mentality. I think that's huge on social media now.
Yeah.
People wanting that, like you say, it's almost a drug, that feeling of people feeling sorry for you.
Yeah.
It's a form of attention, and
Yes.
that's what social media's built. It's built a foundation and a platform for people to get attention.
Yes, 100%.
When that attention dries up, you've lost that pill, that drug, whatever it is.
Because it causes a chemical reaction in your head.
Yeah.
So you're after, it's like someone who's taking amphetamines.
Yeah.
They take it to get a certain chemical reaction,
Mm.
and then that's what they're like, wow, it's almost euphoria. Let's go again.
Yeah.
Let's go again. And, before you know it, you're caught up in it. And
Yeah.
that's all you give out. And people only pour to you so much, but when you're pouring into a container that's leaking,
Yeah.
There's going to be a point where you're like,
it's not even that. You're never going to be full.
no, you're
because you're leaking
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But
They're
people
gonna
are
get-
pouring into you, so you just go on, and where that leads to is now resentment,
Yeah.
anger, entitlement, and all these things are cousins,
Yeah.
and they're not good for anyone.
You mentioned your sisters. Do you still keep in contact with any of them, like live in the UK, or they live outside?
So that's a good question. My sisters have been guilty all their life, basically, because they felt they should have done better.
Yeah.
But personally, I had one of my sisters who works for an NGO, so she travels a lot. If she comes to London, I go and meet her in London. But I told them those were just second. They had their families to fend off for.
Yeah.
So personally, no, I don't hold any resentment, no bad energy, no nothing. It's just how it ended up. And I look at myself, I've not ended up badly.
Yeah.
So that's what matters. It's like, I wish you guys well, I wish you health and everything that comes with it. And then obviously 2019, when it was COVID, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19,
Yeah,
20, wasn't it?
yeah. So I had my older brother who, by default, I was meant to live with when my mom passed away. So he was the firstborn. But he was very abusive, and that's why I chose to be homeless as opposed to living with him.
Yeah.
I was just scared, shitless. But obviously, as I've grown up, I'd come to learn that he had bad PTSD because he was in the army, and he'd just been serving in Somalia in the Black Hawk Down.
Wow.
So that's what had made him very violent.
Yeah.
So he passed away in 2019. Once he had drinking problems, so he passed away through liver failure. Poor soul, he died just by himself because he was one of those. There was no people allowed to visit hospitals back
Yeah.
then. So yeah, and once again, I plan to visit Africa, see his kids, and be like a male role model for them. I've got no bad energy for him.
Yeah.
And no one owes me anything, And at the end of the day, like I said, I am where I am because of my friends who are the family that I've chosen. So that mentality I have is just because of the way people just help you. It doesn't matter. So you have your family, which are important. But like when you're in such circumstances like that, you'll realize that sometimes, bro, there's people who will help you regardless, and then it's for you to embrace them back
Yeah.
and then carry on the journey that's called life together.
I think a huge thing you mentioned there as well is that forgiveness, and I think a lot of people hold that grudge. They can't forgive, and that is a form of stress, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
a weight on your shoulders.
It is.
I'm just going to reset this camera. One sec, lads.
And if you can learn to forgive, you can lead a much stress-free life and start moving forward again.
Yes. And are we on?
Yeah.
And on forgiveness, what people don't realize about forgiveness is if you wrong me, Jamie,
Yeah.
and I forgive you, I've not let you off. That's a gift to myself.
Yeah.
I've given myself a gift. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is, at one point, I've asked someone for grace.
Yeah.
You know, I've asked someone for forgiveness and they've forgiven me. Why would I not forgive you?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because human is to error, right? So it's like if one point I've deserved forgiveness and I've asked for it, sorry mate, I'm not going to do that again. Sorry mate, I didn't mean it like that, I'm sorry. And they've gone, no, it's fine. Then why would I pass it on
Yeah.
when someone else needs it?
No, definitely.
You know?
Yeah. And obviously you're not going to forgive and forgive and forgive.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
But you get the gist of it. You
That's
know?
when you move on and...
So, and if someone keeps then wronging you, then, you know...
Again,
you
it's
just
like
move. You just move.
it's like that pouring thing you said. You know, when it's empty at the bottom. If you keep forgiving,
pouring.
you're not going to keep forgiving. You're just going to be fed up with it and
But
walk the
you
other
know,
direction. Or
Yeah, we ask for grace more than we know. So we owe other people grace.
Yeah.
I hope
I need to forgive someone, actually. I remember part of my childhood growing up, obviously I like pizza. I went around my friend's house and I took my own pizza.
Lifelong.
I took my own pizza for her to cook. My friend's name's Chum. His mum's name's Maria. So they're not going to listen to this, but just putting it out there into the universe. Maria wrecked my pizza. It was inedible. Basically, this pizza's supposed to have a tray underneath it. It was... You know the Chicago Town pizzas? You know when they first came out, they had a black tray?
Yeah.
Yes.
She didn't put it on the tray, so it melted through the grill.
Then there was no pizza, basically.
No pizza. I've held that grudge for Maria for all my life. Maria, you're forgiven.
take the edge off the deep stuff there.
Yeah, that's it. Tone it down a little bit.
I love it. I love it.
I hope the people that are watching and listening to this are taking something away from
Oh,
what Oscar's
definitely.
going in, because it's just golden nuggets.
It's amazing as well, because knowing Oscar, but at the same time not knowing Oscar, because
That's it, no, yeah.
Oscar's such a reserved, quiet person in the main, and that is apparent on your social media because you don't post a lot. We'll go into that. But there's this deep personality and this wealth of knowledge and experience and like we say, wisdom that's just kind of waiting to come out, and it's fascinating for you to be here, because I can tell that that's only shared with the people that you value.
100%.
And that's amazing.
You know, so this is part of the day. It's just talking, and as I tell a story, we live life through stories. You know, I'm telling a story to my friends at the same time. It's two birds with one stone. I'm telling a story out there. If someone can relate to it, then you know we cannot lose here. We're just winning, and I'm spending a day with my friends, and that's how I look at it. So from that perspective, I'm reserved, but I like to stick to my lane, which is I try and train hard, and I try and train well with pride, and I try and give people advice from that. What I don't want to be is sort of be called different things that maybe I'm not, but every now and then, if something feels authentic, if something feels like it needs to be then every now and then I'll write a post that veers off bodybuilding, and it's always to do with mindset, because we're all struggling with this thing in the middle there, because you go to bed, it's just there, you wake up, it's there, so it's something we all struggle in common. Half of the things I write on social media are just letters to myself that I share. I write a lot, I read a lot, and I write a lot. And I've been with Magic traveling. He'll have seen me, listening to things and taking snippets. And every now and then, conversation will come up, and I'll just put things together, and it'll be information that I've gone through, information that I've read. And then if it helps one person, then so be it. But other than that, I'd like to stick to training most of the time.
You definitely you've always got the right thing to say in the right moment, and that comes from like the recent trip that we did to Tunisia. I was sat by him on the plane, and I'm seeing him, like, obviously I'm doing my work or wherever, listen to music. Oscar's got his AirPods in, he's on his phone, and he's like on YouTube, and he's listening to stories, poems, speakers, and I can see him kind of just going back and then going listening to it, and then going back and listening to it, and then processing it, and then he'll take a note, and he might not put that on Instagram, because I've seen him do it like when I've sent him images, he's like, I need to wait for the right time to have the right thing to say that goes with that image or whatever. But I've seen him like go back to it, and then he's like soaking up all this wisdom from other sources that are, guys that are doing have a similar kind of mindset, and then it's there. And then when the moment's there, like I've had some low moments, and Oscar's been there to kind of say the right thing, and it's just my 4 hour drive from Manchester, there's like mind blown.
Yeah.
So you're a cool person to have in my circle, mate. 100%.
Thank you. The feeling's mutual. And that's what it's about, Jay. We all go through, life is hard, bro. So it's just important we lift each other. For me, like, Mum always taught me something. The one thing I'll take away. And it said, in life you'll have a lot of time where you'll have no answers. You'll almost hit like a dead end, and you'll have no answers. And that is fine. In that time, don't focus on that. Turn your attention and help other people.
Yeah.
And while you keep yourself busy helping other people, the answer will just come to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, from what Jamie was saying, like, obviously, I'm quite private and I don't put much of this. It's because majority of the time my goal is just to live a life of service and just to help as much people as possible, leave a positive footprint. I have young people, like I have a lot of young people on my Instagram, a lot of my followers are very young guys. And they'll send me a text and they'll be like, I know you wouldn't read this, but it's like, when I reply it, they're like, oh, thanks for replying. I'm like, I'm closer to you than you know.
Yeah.
To what you're going through. I've got so much in common with you than you know, because people just place someone on a pedestal.
Yeah.
When they're an ideal, you think, oh, they're so busy, they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're busy with the bodybuilding. But bodybuilding is just something that I do, But other than that, my passion is in is in people. It's not in things.
So how does a 16-year-old Oscar,
Yes.
who's walking the streets at this time,
Yes.
find the gym? When did that come about? Is that a close relationship to that?
It's a strange story. So we moved from Reading to Manchester. Reading, what am I doing? God knows. I think it's cool to be skinny. I like Pharrell. Pharrell is skinny. I think it's cool to be skinny, wearing extra small t-shirts. Like it's not, Sorry, I'm not didn't mean to say.
No offense to skinny.
No offense to skinny guys. I didn't mean to say. I thought it's not cool for me now. Being around like, no, I was wearing like extra small t-shirt. But anyway, gets to Manchester. I'm with this girl who I've been in a relationship. She helps me find a job in the company that she's working in, but she's higher up. She does not say we're together. So the next thing, we're not working I'm working on a separate unit. Next thing, one of her mates gives me a lift one day, and I says, okay, thank you for the lift. I give her a kiss on the cheek. Off she goes. I get into the house, and I'm laying in bed. My phone blinks like that. It's at night, room's dark. She goes, who's that? I've turned to, I don't know, I'm trying to grab my phone, but she's got there before me. She's opened the text. She say, you fucking cheeky bastard. But the girl has texted me saying, thanks for the kiss.
Oh. What?
I'm like, I picture on the cheek. How daft am I to kiss your best mate?
Yeah. It happens though.
But I'm not that type, you know what I mean? Anyway, long story short, she's trying to make me feel jealous and organize for someone to pick her up from the house the following day. So, okay, you want to play games? Right, we're going to play games now. I'm going to show you. She's got this guy to pick up. This guy, I remember him like it was yesterday. He had massive arms, bro. At this point, probably I was 70 kilo wet through, so I was only a skinny guy. This guy's picked her up, off they've gone. I've not done anything, I've just gone to work. Well, what would I do anyway? You know, this guy was massive. So I thought, okay, I've gone. I've just ignored it. The following day, she says to me, "Are you not going to ask how my date was?" I said, well, "No, you've done what you've done." I said, "Yeah, it was nice. You had good food, and this guy is a proper man, big arms and everything." And
Proper
honestly, yeah, that literally those are the words. But for me, like, I felt shit. You know, I felt so shit, and I thought, wow, I'm not going to take this because this variables are in my control. Listen, that afternoon, I went and got a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Then and then. I thought, I'm going to change. I'm not going to let anyone else make me feel like this ever. That feeling that I felt. And I got a personal trainer and I started training, and I trained and I trained and I trained. And then one day I was sat in a sauna. This is when pure gym was fitness first. And someone asked me, have you ever thought about competing? I was like, what? What's competing? It's going, you wear these shorts, it's, you know, you do this and that. Anyway, long story short, I was at Warrington, UK BFF qualifier. There's 32 people on stage. And back then they were chopping people in tens.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still there. You know, someone's told me, you know, when people go to the show, they drink. So I'm backstage. There's balls of wine flying. I'm absolutely pissed, right? So I'm on stage with this smile. Like when I'm drunk, I always have this smile. Like it's just there, you know. So I'm on stage and, you know, they keep chopping and I'm there. I'm thinking, bro, if I get top 10, I'm buzzing because there was 32.
Yeah.
I remember there was 32. Bro, they keep chopping the other 6. I'm still in the court. I'm like, rah, what's going on? Game on. They go to 4. I'm still there. Next thing, I come second.
Wow.
Shit.
In this show, right? The guy who wins is called Jamie Gray. He was a seasoned physique athlete. I knew him sort of, but his backstage is not talking to me. He's with his missus. They're doing pump up.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
You know, but he later on after the comp, he'd come and tell me, bro, I was just in the zone. I knew you were my only competition.
Yeah.
So because you were seasoned, he knew what to look for.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was just my first rodeo. I didn't know what the judges were looking for. I couldn't pose for shit. And that was that. So after that, obviously I qualified for the finals. I would then go into body power, just expo walking about. And then I seen Phil Learney.
Yeah.
Right. I'd attended a lot of Phil Learney's seminars, so we knew each other. So I was like, oh, Phil, you know, I need a coach because I'm going into the big leagues now. I've got a British final to prepare for. So I was like, all right, I think maybe contact either Matt Coles or Jordan Peters. So I get both their emails. I send the same email. Mark comes back to me. He's a bit there. I couldn't afford it then. Jordan comes back to me. He's in my range, and the rest is history. 10 years later.
Mad.
Wow.
Were you walking around body power with your top off, or did you have top
No.
on?
I was
Just had to
topping it
check.
off. Had nothing to show, bro.
Just got to check.
Had
You
nothing
never
to
know.
show. I had abs like, ooh. But yeah,
They were the
when I was
days.
body power, I was like, I knew my place. The big boys were in there. So I was like, bro, stay dressed, jump on, try and look big with a bigger jumper.
Yeah.
But that's how I met Jordan. That's how I got in touch with Jordan.
Yeah.
Back then he was in Harlow,
Yeah.
and I used to do trips there. Such a long trip, but yeah, I used to do trips there, and yeah, that's how I met Jordan, and we started this thing. And there was never a goal. The goal was always the next show. The goal was always the next show, and then with the sets, like people think, you know, I had posters of Ronnie Coleman. Bro, I never even read a bodybuilding magazine. I still haven't read one.
No.
You know, because for me, what was triggered by a bit of insecurity, as soon as I competed, what that girl told me was never a fuel. That was just fuel to get me to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I seen what that could do, and then I had my friend who owns FLF where I work, and he was telling me, bro, it's dog shit, you're working with kids. Your passion is in fitness. And I remember one day we was sat like this. He didn't even ask for permission. He just rang this, like, it was like this PT qualification companies, and he paid £1,200 for me. He said, right, I've enrolled you 12 weeks, get your qualification, and let's do these boot camps.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
that's the original boot camps for FLF, which were in the
FLF,
garden, were they, or something?
We were in different parks in Manchester.
In parks, right? Okay.
Yeah, so we just used, tractor tires and sandbags and kettlebells and this and that. And 7 years later, there's a gym there.
Yeah, the history of FLF's mad, isn't it? When you look back at the old pictures and all of them in the parks.
Yeah, 7 years later, there's a gym with all sorts of kit. So yeah, that was my journey then. And obviously, as I've started, so as I did the boot camps and as I qualified, then I worked at Virgin Active as well as a personal trainer. And as I'm in there, you realize how much value you're bringing to the table. I didn't know much, but still, I was very passionate about this, what I was doing. And then the more you help, the more passion you get, because the more fulfillment you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that then just became a driving force. I thought, this is my calling. I'm at home with this. Like, there was never much about, I didn't care much about the money, to be fair. I never have. It's always been about my enjoyment and my contentment first. Because the funny story is, when I did that level 1, 2, and 3, another one of James's friends, our friend Dave, did it with me. But when we finished, there was only one position available. So James said to Chach, bro, I got 2 of my best mates here, and we've only got one permission. And Chach, being savvy as he is, he said to James, you know what, James? Ask them who's willing to work for free.
Wow.
So James said, guys, we got, but the company's still coming up. There were 6-week courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you're gonna have to work 6 weeks for no pay.
Yeah.
Dave was like, bro, I've paid for my thing, I need to earn. And that was it. I was like, bro, what is the best thing that could happen? I'm spending the day with my best mates, doing what I like. I'll work for free.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Wow.
I always say passion takes you places, man.
Yeah,
and it does with each of us as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, I think money is important. I don't want to downplay it. It's important because it gives us options. But, Dave Chappelle had an analogy that really resonated with me, because I think when he quit Comedy Central, I think they offered him like 50 mil. And he didn't take it. It was either Comedy Central or Netflix, either one of the two. And people asked him, why did you jump on this 50 mil? 50 mil is 50 mil. Yeah. And he said, he put out an analogy, and he was like, the Bushmen, how do they find a water hole? Do you know how the Bushmen find a water hole? The interviewer says, no, I don't. He goes, right. So what they do is they go out in the desert and they hunt for a baboon. How do they hunt for a baboon? I don't know. They say they'll have cubes of salt. They'll go dig a hole, stick the cube of salt in. The baboons will go stick their hand in that hole to get the salt. Right? When he grabs the cube of salt, can he take his hands out? It's stuck now.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it need to do to get his hand out?
Probably let go of the salt. Yeah.
But it can't.
No.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So the Bushman will just come, find the baboon with his hand trapped. They'll stick him in a cage, feed him more salt, and then let him go. Where does he run to next?
Water hole.
Everyone drinks.
Yeah.
Happy days.
No way.
Are you with me? So that salt sometimes is the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the golden handcuff thing, innit?
Yeah,
The golden handcuff thing with your jobs.
If you cannot let that go, then it comes at a. It comes with a price.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's always like kind of got a hold of you and an ownership.
Yeah.
Ooh. But you're also not. Chances are, you won't be fulfilled
No.
to your capacity.
Yeah.
Are you with me? You'll always be thinking, I could have been doing that, but I can't stop doing this because of the lifestyle this has created for me. So that lifestyle all has got you hostage, because then if you stop doing this, then maybe you might not be able to sustain this lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's like those office jobs, isn't it? With the you get the car, the phone,
Yeah.
you get all this paid for.
Yeah.
Oh, if I let go of all that, I've got to foot the bills for those
then
things.
I might need to get one car off the drive and share one car with my missus.
Yeah.
Am I ready to do that? I've already introduced
It's like taking a step back.
You know, so now there's no right or wrong.
No.
What's important is just what it is you want.
Yeah, 100%. I think I was guilty of that this last year gone, you know, giving up competing potentially.
Yes.
And then the fact was, am I ready yet to step away?
Yes.
Can I fill that void of lifestyle, income, etc. without the fact that I compete and I'm perhaps not as in the limelight as I could be if I was competing on stage and etc.
Yes.
And the decision was, well, no, not really. I'm not ready to step away yet.
Yes.
So now we have to think of what is next.
Yes.
What needs to happen so we can step away
Yes.
and not have to have our hand around that salt.
Let the salt go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
what is next?
Well, this year we'll be competing.
Good.
If I can get my health right.
Yeah.
Fill the people in on your month of hell that you've had.
January's been hell, yeah. So obviously everyone got ill in Vegas.
Yes, Vegas flu.
Got the Vegas flu.
Yeah.
My way of overcoming that was I ended up getting fed up because I was ill and it just wasn't getting any better. And I went round the route that I advise clients to rest, take time out of the gym, just let your body recover. You know, you got to let your body have its chance to repair itself, etc. That wasn't working. I was getting frustrated. I'm like 3 weeks deep at the minute of no training. So I'm like, okay, mentally, because I'm about mindset just like yourself and Jay.
Yep.
I'm thinking, right, my mindset's weak now. That's why I'm not recovering. So I need to just bring the mindset game up and overpower this with mindset and just F it off by being on plan, being on point, training like I normally would. So last Monday I went in the gym, balls out. And believe it or not, Tuesday, Wednesday started to feel really good. Chest infection gone. So I'm thinking, mindset, I've sorted it. We're on. Thursday, I get the shits. And we're now the following Wednesday. It's a lot better.
But it's still loose.
But it's still there, yeah.
So this is a very important that's a very important story, because when we're driven like we are, we have a superhero mindset, which is what Jamie's just described there, thinking I'm weak, you know. So because we're used to chasing exuberance, we cannot almost put apart exuberance and exhaustion. We don't know what exhaustion is, and it almost equates to a bit of failure and a bit of weakness, and the body doesn't want to do what we want to do, because we, as far as we're concerned, we're superheroes. We go into the gym, we do what needs to be done, and more.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So when the coin flips on the other side, it's very, very hard. Mm-hmm. It's to comprehend and to think, is this me ill and needing to rest, or is this me just being weak?
Yeah.
And as Jamie found out the hard way through the test, that no, this wasn't you being weak. This is just the body is ready when it's ready, not when you are.
You're speaking from experience there as well.
100%.
Because obviously, when the where did you go when you were ill, competing?
Portugal. Yeah. And I came back, and ever since, like, my turning point was when I lived with Jordan. That's how I can auto-regulate myself, because when Jordan moved to Manchester, listen, Jordan's been like, he's taught me so much. I love the man with all my heart, because it's like, when he moved to Manchester, I thought, right, I don't know, because he just moved there, but I didn't know how long he was going to be there. So I thought I'll move in with him and take as much as I can. Are you with me? Yeah. So I moved into his apartment, literally waking up, sleeping, like training, eating, everything. I did everything with him. Yeah. And another reason where I am today. But he'd wake up in the morning and go, Oscar, if someone put a gun to your head, would you train today? I'd be like, George, I'd ask them to shoot me. He'd be like, right, extra day off. I'm like, just like that? Yeah, extra rest day off.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, if this guy who trains like an animal is just cool with taking an extra rest day, or sometimes two, who am I?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I can now comfortably, like I said, just go away 12 days, no gym, no rest, don't even carry training kit,
Yeah.
because it's like, I'm confident, like yourself, a professional, when it's game time, you play
Yeah.
100%. Food is tick, sleep is tick, training is tick. You know, you don't falter.
Yeah.
So then the same confidence should allow you on the other side to be able to rest.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just it's reciprocity, because sometimes you cannot take from something which you don't give.
No, 100%. I'm a huge believer in downtime and rest.
Yes.
And I'm also a huge believer in the fact that when you do go away, not to stress and really worry about your diet, staying on track and training, because again, I just see it as a stress.
Yes.
And
yes.
the thing that's in our control mostly is to relax and not stress about it.
Yes.
But we see too many people these days, I think because of social media as well, because what they're watching their favourite influencer
Yes.
do maybe, they think they have to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
And they have this hero mentality.
Yes.
That they're weak if they don't.
Yes.
In actual fact, I think the people's inability to relax will be their Achilles heel
Yes.
and stop them progressing. So
100%.
that's what I've realised in my kind of later life.
Yeah.
You know, in my 30s,
Yeah.
I won't go to the Olympia. It's just gone and plan on training. But if I want to train, I'll train.
You just train.
You know?
Yeah, you go with the flow.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like we discussed off camera, when you have a partner or a wife, you make time for those people, because they're the people that support you through the journey when you have to be all in.
I call them the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because Jamie's like a big film, but what people don't see is the cast behind
Yeah.
that facilitate the ability for you to be able to stand in those queues
That's it.
for that long with your food made, and they don't see that supporting cast. Now, I think half of the secret is to give back once again on reciprocity. Not only give back to your body, but these people, you go give back to them.
Yeah, definitely.
You go give back more than you're taking. And
Yeah.
a very good way, like I always say to my clients, a very good way of that is to always look at how much am I getting and how much am I giving back.
Yeah.
Put both on a scale and make sure they're always there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
You know.
Was you made me think about obviously how full of wisdom you are, and you mentioned Jordan being a huge influence. Obviously, Jordan's probably been one of the biggest influences regarding bodybuilding as well.
Yes.
But is there somebody like from the 16, 17-year-old Oscar that was an influential person in your life that perhaps made or helped make the person you are?
Bro, like I grew up without a male figure in my life, so I've gone in my head. I think I have so many people who've been like father figures, and so many people who have been ideals. I call them ideals now.
Yeah.
So most of the time, like, okay, so I didn't finish saying. So the example I used, maybe being in Jamie's house, and then it's at night and I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So I'd then go and I'd find like an apartment block where I know it's secure, the doors are closed at night. Now, what my mom left me with was a Discman. Who remembers the Discman?
Oh, yeah.
Sony Discman, yeah.
Quality.
Skips as you walk in.
Yeah, but I had a bag. I had like a bag that hung at the front, and I put my Discman in it. Boom. So what then I'd get from my mates overnight is CDs.
Yeah.
Right? So it'd be like, I'm going to have a long night, me. Only God knows. I need this music. So music, that's why music is so big for me.
Yeah.
Because music got me through them nights. Because I'm just asleep in a staircase, you know, at night. So it's just like that music is going to be playing. So music really, DMX, when DMX passed, bro, because that's when I think I remember when it released, It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah.
And I resonated with it massively because, you know, he was just talking about his own struggles. It'd be midway through a song, he'd start praying. I'm like, rah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this guy. Anyway, so that was music. Then obviously I come to England. When I met Jordan just took center stage. Still takes a lot of center stage of ideally what I look at and what I admire. Even just when I go around to see him, I'm just there because I'm very observant. I just observe and I look at how he does things, you know, how he speaks, I admire how he speaks, you know, I admire his mindset and everything else, you know. So I looked up to Jordan so much. When I was younger, really just fluttered from one person because you don't even know yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't have like a... But as I grew older, you know, like mostly as I started training and I found something that I was finally a bit decent at, and Jordan believed in me because I lacked that belief as well. So that was the currency. When Jordan gave me that belief, I was like, why does he believe in me? Look at me. But obviously, I was looking at things as they are, which is what we call sight, and he could see things as they could be. Yeah. Which is called vision, you know. So he had a vision for me when I couldn't see it, you know. So he made me get, you know, respect him a lot, look up to him a lot, you know, and our friendship grew. As time went on, you know, like I always say, if I had a son, I'd call him Jordan because like because I've had a lot of Jordans in my life who were pivotal. So I listen a lot to and I read a lot about Jordan Peterson, who's a Canadian psychologist. Really listen to him every morning. You know, subscribed on most of his sites, and he's helped me maneuver through life. Speaks very eloquently, but without the big words. Yeah. You know, just you can just understand it. It speaks a lot to men who are lost. Who lack confidence to do this and that. And then I met Jordan Shallow, who's also very pivotal, you know, just a good guy. And I'm like, why have I ended up with these three Jordans?
Yeah.
Don't forget the ones on your feet as well, mate.
Yeah, and
Don't never forget those ones.
Mike has always been big, you know. And Mike, obviously, you know, he lost his dad, and you know, like it's just like I've got these Jordans who are always like reference points. In different points of life. So I'm always saying that joke, if I have a son, they'll definitely, I won't lose sleep with Jordan. What should we call him? Jordan, you know, because I have 4 Jordans in my life. But yeah,
that's quality.
But other than that, no, when I was 16, you know, I had friends who did well. You know, you look up to them, then you know, you sort of flutter as you go up, and but now I think, you know, when you're older, you know, it's just not about that. You would tend to admire, like for me, you could be a good bodybuilder, it doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
You know, I admire the person more than anything. Like, I remember working with this guy's had come to Manchester. What's it called? No Switch Fitness. What's his name?
Luke. Yeah,
and we train at FLF. And we were walking back to, I was taking them somewhere to eat, and you know, walking big group, walking with Luke, and you know, I'm getting to know him. So I say to him, you know, what's up? Where you at? He says, I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. You know, me and my wife, we live there. I'm currently trying to get my mom from Florida to move with me to Dallas, to move in Dallas. Then I want to get a house there because she's getting on a bit. And I want it to be closer to me, and you know, so we can enjoy whatever life she's got. And when he said that, I just told him, right, me and you are going to be mates.
Yeah.
It's my first day I'd met him. I didn't know what he knew. I didn't know any, but because he had that sort of outlook, I just bonded with him straight away. Because he told me that sentence, I thought, this tells me a lot about a person. Just that one line. I didn't know how much he knew from whatever he was teaching or whatever, but when he told me that, I thought, right, this is a good man. Yeah, this shows character.
Yeah, anything else he does is irrelevant, isn't it?
It's just
bodybuilding, isn't it?
You're a good bodybuilder.
It's
that's
just
yours.
bodybuilding, isn't it? Yeah.
That's yours. You know what I mean? But like, character for me is massive.
But I think you see that a lot with the pockets that we kind of move in.
Yeah,
there's people that I've worked with, and there's still like a circle of people that we're all still in the circle with, that we connect with, and then that's because they've just got a certain morality or
yes.
a certain mindset.
Yeah. So that really is the shot for me, Jay, in terms of people I've looked up to, or have had as reference points. To be fair.
Yeah. So where did the I always think Oscar's like one of the most fashionable guys in the room. I actually nicknamed him the Chris Eubanks of bodybuilding.
I laughed my head off the first time you ever said that,
because he was always like super smartly dressed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just turns up, tucked up.
And that's one thing I noticed about you from a very like, you know, one of the first times we met, I was like, this guy looks cool. You know, he's not got just the voice and the wisdom, but he's got the looks and the dress to go with it.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that like
I think it's something I always aspired to as I was younger, but obviously just couldn't facilitate it. But as I've grown older, I've just always thought everything that I do, I want to do it to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
I always say, someone once asked me, one of my clients, I think it was never a client, it was an interview that I was sat in, and I was asking the person, as a trainer wanted to work at FLF, I said, what are your two values? And they answered me, and then they threw the question back at me.
Yeah.
I was like, I was caught a bit off guard. But I said, I said, for me, is to be always sincere, look good and smell good.
Yeah.
And then it broke the ice a bit, and we all laughed. So what's smell got to do with it? And I was like, everyone, we eat with our eyes, and then we smell the food.
Yeah.
So it's important you smell good at any given time. But
that's true.
But yeah, and with time, like I say, I then had a passion of I looked up to Jordan a lot. I knew his stories. I read his books. That he put out. So, then I started collecting trainers time ago before people go into the hype of trainers. So, like, having my trainers, I could tell you about them. I could tell you the game that he played, whether he won or lost, because it was just a passion. I didn't know how far he'd get. But other than that, in terms of my appearance, I am a brand. I look at myself as a brand as well. So, at any given time, you're always going to be making a first impression, and you can never make a first impression twice.
No.
So at any given time, I'm going to be well kept, and I'm going to be the best version of myself, and that's the long and short of it.
Solid.
I think a lot of people are surprised, like when you put little glimpses of your life outside of like bodybuilding and FLF on socials, and I know that this year, or just last year, just gone, when you were over in Dubai. New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and that when you were partying, when you went on about 4 day or whatever it was.
God. Honestly, everyone, it's like I said, people are curious. Social media for me is just social media, and that's all it is. So I don't try and really overthink about it, and I'm gonna show people what I want them to see. So, I went to Dubai, relaxed. I remember the last one was on my birthday, so went had a desert safari, did the sandboarding and everything else, the buggy ride. At the end of the safari, you go into this place to have something to eat. There's live entertainment going. This belly dancer comes in, honestly, says to Jamie Spencer, come on, let's have a dance. Jamie Spencer, being Spencer, stitches me up, goes, it's his birthday, not mine. So she pulls me in, I go in, we have a bit of a boogie on there. Jamie's recording it, obviously. I post it on social. That's my most watched story.
Yeah.
Really?
Ever. It had like 5,000 views.
Yeah.
But everyone had just good things to say.
Yeah.
It was mostly just people surprised.
Yeah. It was just good to see.
Yeah, it was people thinking, what the hell?
Yeah.
Have you got this in you?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I have. And it's important that you release that inner child.
Yeah.
Listen, none of us are coming out of this alive.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when you can, there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
There's a time for, when it's time for fun, don't try and paint a picture of yourself. Just let loose, just have fun.
Let it go.
Yeah.
You know, because I just, had to jump over a barrier to go and do this. And she was directing it, and she was going, right, we're on the waist now, and we're doing it. And she goes, turn around, you're shaking your ass now. And it was hilarious, But it's just one of those. And even like in December, when I went on this bend and I just had it on my story, everyone was like, no way are you drunk? I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. How much have you drunk? And everyone was very curious. And I don't know. I'm just following Jamie.
Yeah.
And we're doing shots and we're doing cocktails and we're doing vodkas. 26th, flare your messages. How you feeling? How you feeling? I just sent pictures of myself and the Netflix screen going dead. So it's good. It's good every now and then, like just to give people a sneak peek and show them, listen, we're all human. We have the same feelings, same struggles, same emotions, and we are all scared.
Yeah.
We are all scared. The difference between one person and the other is the other person can hide it better than you. But when it's all put out, we're all scared.
Yeah, for sure. I think that element of balance is like kind of brushing over there as well. It's very important and something that's lost a lot in bodybuilding, isn't it? People say there's no balance in bodybuilding. People trying to preach that you shouldn't even try and be balanced. But it's so important.
It's so important. Like on balance, I always say like a big ship, like a big carrier, it's balancing on the water, right? But it's still moving forward, maybe just a bit slow.
Yeah.
So when I go away, like I said, I went to Dubai, for my birthday. As Jamie put it before, I'm offsetting a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Through just being me, so that when I come back, and I've had one of my best years, one of the best looks this year.
Oh yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
2 holidays as well, which I've never had any previous years before prep.
Says
because
a lot.
when it's time to go, then I'm like, okay, motherfucker, game time. I always said the biggest drug you can use is having a clear mind.
Yeah.
Well, because wherever the mind goes, the body will go. So if you got a hazy mind, you can take all the cycles you want. You'll never be the best version of yourself. But when your mind is clear, then assistance is just what the name says. It assists you a bit more.
Yeah.
But the bulk of the work is done by the clarity that you're holding upstairs. And the mind is, like we know, is so powerful. We look at things on Instagram every day and go, God damn, how did he do that?
Yeah.
It's all through the mind. So when you're tired and you're hazy and your vision is not clear and you can't quiet your mind down, you can't meditate if you meditate, or you can't read, stress is a good thing because it's an indicator that something needs to change.
Yeah.
It's the body's it's like your engine light coming on in a car. It might be big, it might be small, but you need to stop and open the boot.
Yeah.
The bonnet and see what's what.
Yeah. I'm just changing the oil at the minute.
Oil
change going on in the store.
Yeah.
Sure.
Quite a lot of oil.
Yeah, let's just stay out of the fried foods.
I got to pay the
foods.
Yeah. I got to pay the bill, collect the car, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. That's how I look at it. Like, it works for me. That's why I don't try and push it for other people, because you have camps in here which are like nothing like balance. I believe you cannot be fruitful 24/7.
Yeah.
You can't. And when that is not in stone, then we look to nature. When we don't have answers, we always look to nature. Look at trees. Look at this tree out here. It's not leafy all through the year.
Nice.
Sometimes it's just got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you with me? Then other seasons, then it'll be like fruitful. There'll be fruits. There'll be leaves. It'll look a certain way. And then the next season it won't. It's like we're sort of similar. You can't be fruitful all the time.
I've said this from like being in the mix as videographer's magic eye and putting my bodybuilding shit aside. When I'm looking at people and I'm seeing how they operate day to day, life to life, how they train, how they approach everything, I always look at them and I think, if they just had a little bit more of what that guy's doing, and if that guy had a little bit more of what that guy's doing, do you know what I mean? How good would they how good would they actually be? Because some people are so like down that lane and they're gone. And then the other guy is like, he's still getting away with it, but living too much of a life. But if they just had a sprinkle of that
and a sprinkle of this,
then how good would they be? Yeah.
Some people are just trying to redline it all the time.
Yeah.
And other people are
redline,
2,000 RPM and
Yeah.
chugging along.
Yes.
A nice middle ground's going to be longevity wise, isn't it? The best.
It's the tortoise and the hare, isn't it?
I was trying to think, tortoise on the hair.
It's the tortoise and the hare. So long as you're moving forward, and this boils down to the definition of success, right? Personally, I define success on my own terms, right? When Jordan stopped coaching people, and he was going to step away from coaching, I was bang in the middle of prep. So yes, he was saying that, but I didn't pay it mind because I was so focused on the prep I had at hand. But granted, in between that, he sent me a text and he said, Oscar, I know I've been saying this, but don't worry, me and you, we're forever. This is our thing. Okay, so don't worry. Which was nice of him to tell me.
Yeah.
But in my head, if he called it a day, I would have easily packed my shit and thought, okay, I would have been quite comfortable and stopped.
Yeah.
What would have changed? Just the fact that I don't compete. My training would have stayed the same. My eating would have stayed the same. I live my life a certain way. But listen, I've come from men's physique to open bodybuilding to becoming a professional bodybuilder. I'm successful and walking away with my health and giving the world the other side of me which they've not seen, because I've got so much to give.
Yeah.
Just not lifting weights. So I said it to Jordan. I said, bro, if you didn't, it'd be, and he was like, no, what? Are you sure? I was like, yeah. But anyway, here we are, and we've had a pro debut, and it's been beautiful.
Yeah. What did you enjoy more, and where do you see yourself fitting now between 212 and classic? Because the goal when I first spoke to you was 212. That's it. And
yes.
Things have changed a little bit.
Things have changed.
I think this year was last year was an eye opener. I think.
Yeah, things have changed. So we went 212. It was a very good look, but just obviously I was stood against 4 Olympians as well, and like people talk about professional bodybuilding, you will know about it because you go into the room before me. But like, it was my first time to be backstage with professional bodybuilders. Yeah. And listen, you got to look at those people. I sat there looking at him who won the 212. What's he called now? The shot guy.
Angel.
Angel, yeah.
I'm stood with him like this.
Crazy.
And he's doing his lat raises. And he's big. This way he's big. That
Just
way
hanging
he's
off
big.
him, innit?
And he's two. And I'm thinking, this guy's in 212.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but like marvel and think, okay, this is professional bodybuilding, bro. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
It is not a joke. And that's why it eats a lot of people alive. And, we went to competed, missed out on top 6 narrowly, coming out 7th. I was happy with that because it's like, asked for feedback from...
Keep talking. I'll go check.
From, what's it called, from Spain, because it was in the big man guy.
The promoter?
Yeah.
Emilio?
Yeah, because he was one of the judges.
Right, yeah.
In Romania. So I sent him a message, I was like, what do you think? And he goes, bro, I got nothing to tell you. You're very good.
Yeah.
You just aren't there yet.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, so most of the 2-on-2s are like 5'4", 5'6".
Yeah. So he said, I can't tell you anything, I'd be lying. He goes, you're good, but you just got so much to feel.
Yeah,
in that frame.
You can't do it in that limit.
To be able to, but then I can't do it in that limit. So obviously, the goal for myself and Jordan was to find a home this last year. So that was always the first stop, because we'd have preferred that, because it means you're just going in a bit bigger.
How much room did you have?
Bro, I weighed in at 208.
Oh, right. Pound here, pound there.
Yeah, and that's what I say to a lot of people. These guys would have weighed in at 212 bang on.
Yeah.
And they would have had 2 days to eat. So they would have been on stage at God knows what.
Yeah, man.
Are you with me? Popping left, right, and centre. I get 6th place. The podium's only top 5. I'm like, oh, okay, fair play.
Yeah.
But it was good because I'm in first call out, so I'm like, boom, game on. I'm in second call out as well, and they're confused between me and one guy, and the guy who's shorter again, shock, and just pips me to 5th place. But I'm happy because I'm like top 6, pro debut as a classic physique.
Yeah.
I will take that all day against 20 other athletes.
Definitely.
Guy who won had already won,
Yeah.
already qualified for the Olympia. And then I think second guy was Carl's client, who's
Murat.
who's placed again in Saudi.
Yeah.
With the 2 Olympians.
He's so fucking
He's
close.
so good. So yeah, listen, it was the last class because it was only men's physique and classic. So it was the last class. So I literally step off stage and I walk into the judges' table, and the judge is like, "Your future's here. I've seen you in Romania. How's it judging? I've seen you in Romania." So that in itself is like, this guy knows who I am.
Yeah.
So that means a lot. So he goes, "Seen you in Romania in 212. Your future's in this class."
Yeah.
Just a bit of density on your glutes are very good, but that means they're rubbing off your hamstrings.
Yes.
Just a bit of density on your hamstrings, and then come back. Just don't rush things, because without this waist, you're nothing.
I was going to say the waist.
Wasp waist, isn't
The
it?
backlash spread you posted, I was like,
Ridiculous,
what
mate. No
the-
wonder you remembered him.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so that's what he said. He said, "You without that waist, you're nothing. So don't rush things. Just take your time, and just add a bit. A bit on the arms, which I've always known, and then he said just a bit of density across the hamstrings. So that's what we're doing.
Os, can I ask you something?
Yeah,
You know, like people say about pulling from the floor and doing it, all the compounds, deadlifting and
yes,
hinging and everything, saying
Yes.
about thick waists.
yes.
Obviously, there's no thick waist going on there, and it's a staple movement. It has been since I've been close to you anyway. So, what would you say on that?
It's got nothing to do with nothing. If you've got a thick waist, it's either genetic or you're just eating too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing to do with.
Yeah, or you're not patient. Jordan has admitted his midsection
Yeah.
is blown because he pushed too quick too soon,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that's it. Jamie's got, Jamie's
What was
also
that? Keep talking. It's
Yeah. Jamie's also got like that sort of small waist, and he will know what I'm talking about. Like that waist, so long as you know what sits well with you. Like for me, like when we went to Romania and Tunisia, the 2 days I don't eat any solid foods. I just eat baby rice and whey.
Yeah.
I don't even eat any, because I know what my weapon is, and I want it to be as sharp as possible.
Yeah.
I want my waist to be like I've not had anything to eat.
Yeah.
So if I will now start pushing like next month, having foods that don't sit right with me. So pulling from the floor is something Jordan's brought me up with since we started training, and it's why my back shot is probably my better shot
Yeah.
than my front, because it's just pull variations: RDL, SODL, bent over rows, bent over dead stop rows, pendulum rows, T-bar rows. For me, it's from a hypertrophy perspective. If you just bend over with something and hold it there, the amount of shear force
Yeah.
that's caused. So if you put like a scale from one tendon to the next, and that scale weighed the force, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why most people can't pull. It's hard. That's why when Jordan pulled 7 plates, it goes viral, because
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
something you wake up and see people doing.
No.
So, but then again, from the back, everyone knows Jordan from the back. He's untouchable.
Yeah.
So
like
success does leave clues. And as for me and my house, we will carry on pulling. Even like my hip the other day, Monday, we filmed with Nathan Styles, and we're doing like a density day, but my hips, I'd come back from Dubai, and I think I was a bit ahead of myself. I tried to pull 5 plates, which I did, but then it just left my hip in bits. I should have really exposed myself gradually
Yeah.
back, which is another lesson.
It's
But
a
I didn't.
lesson with friends, because we're all guilty of trying to not keep up, but just be our best.
Superhuman.
Be our best on
superhero
the day
mentality.
when someone comes in and wants a good session. You want to be your best, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't
So
want to be the guy to say, "I'm just going to do 3 plates today because I've just got back from Dubai.
Yeah. No, that was, I just had a camera in my face.
Yeah.
And I felt good because I'd rested.
Yeah.
So I'd had a cracking week. And on Monday, fucking touching weights on the Wednesday, Thursday, I thought, right, pulls. I got camera there, it's going on TBJP. I'm like, bro, I'm pulling 5 plates. Nothing respectable under this. And, it's come with a price. So this is what I always say, like, when you're in doubt about doing anything, treat yourself like the person you care about. So if I had someone I care about, I would advise them differently. And I said, you know what, you've not trained. The last time you pulled was November.
Hard when you're in the moment, though, innit?
Yeah. I'd had that don't fucking miss pre-workout as well. So I was thinking straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when Nathan came on Monday, I couldn't pull. I did a few reps. I thought, oh, mate. But still, I managed to do barbell bent over rows. So I always want to hang with something because that's why my erectors look like they do.
Yeah.
That's why my lower back is so thick. It's because it translates what I've done. If you can do it, do it. I'm not an advocate to push people to do movements that'll get you injured.
No.
If you can't, and your physiology is different, then don't. Just be accurate on the chest supported rows.
Yeah.
The T-bar rows, the prime rows, the bench barbell rows, and
just don't go blaming your thick waist on the pulls from the floor.
Not on pulling. No,
Look at something else.
There's a lot to it, like you say.
There's
the
a lot
food
to
volumes,
it. Food volume, gear,
again, stress
through
perhaps
Yeah.
the
It's
wrong
just the
food
first-
choices.
It's just the first thing people point at, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So-
Well, I am testament that he doesn't.
Exactly.
I'm testament. My waist was 29 inches.
Crazy.
Madness.
Which
It makes it look smaller, though, because obviously
Yeah.
you're at the
It
top,
looks
which is-
smaller, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, for me, that is it, and it's not an opinion. That's why I give the example of amounts of force. Torque is everything, and it dictates exercise selection. How much force is going through this muscle? How much torque? And you're like, okay. So that's when people say, this like rack pulls. People don't rate them. Why? Because the fatigue to stimulus ratio isn't as good.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So it's like, okay, so it's not worth it. I'd rather do a T-bar row and put 5 plates on than do a rack pull with 5 plates aside.
Yeah.
It looks so good on the gram, doesn't it, when they got all the plates on?
Yeah, but then, you can never lie to yourself, because when you put your head on your pillow at night, that was dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you jump on stage next time, nothing's there to show.
Yeah, because the person stood next to you did things proper.
Did what they
now
should
they're
have
making you look dog shit.
I'm not talking about torque and power and all this kind of stuff with training. I'm not sure how much torque and power is in this single arm lat movement that everyone seems to have cottoned onto. I know there's a place and a time for everything, but you when you talk about exercise selection, people should obviously be very conscious of choosing certain exercises first.
Yes.
Like the ones that are going to put a certain amount of torque and load through the body.
Yes.
Over these, and not kind of make up the bulk of their sessions with these ancillary accessory movements.
Yes. Now, I wrote a post a time ago, and I said, there's a time for everything, and different levels will require different devils. Now, and because I was talking about resistance profiles, and on this post, and I said, if you're 18, 19 years old, don't lose sleep about resistance curves and all this. It is. I wouldn't be arrogant to say, don't learn about it, but train at your level. Do the things that you need to be doing at your level, which is what I'm trying to answer Jamie's question here. Because you just need to grow all over.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So it's like just do these things that will slam as much tissue on you.
Yeah.
These hard things. It's like, bro, the first program Jordan ever gave me, let me run you through it, right? It was 3 sets of back squat, right? To start. This was a leg session. The first set was 10 to 12. The second set was 6 to 8. This is barbell, right? The third set was 30 reps.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Crazy volume.
And how long ago was that?
That's in 2016, like ish.
Yeah.
And then it's like, come out of that. The next set was a muscle round of barbell walking lunges.
Yeah.
And then I had an RDL after that.
Yeah.
If I did those exercises today, I would die.
Yeah. Mate, I did lunges the other day. This is one thing that broke me off last week. My arse. Oh my God. I was in bits. I couldn't stand up.
100%. One of the best leg movements, though. You'll agree with me.
Yeah.
A lunge. Are you with me? So when we're talking about this, when I say to my guys who follow me, I'm like, I'm doing a unilateral pull down because my goals are very specific.
Yeah.
I'm at that level
Yeah.
where there has to be a lot of specificity. But I'm not doing it. I've been doing it with 4 plates.
Yeah.
So it's still a heavy weight.
Yeah.
Are you with me? And I'm controlling it, and there's a lot of things that coexisting in that set that you're not able to do.
Yeah.
Not because you can't, you're just not at the place yet.
Yeah. That's a big one. Precision without load is just precision.
It's just precision.
Yeah.
And that's not going to do jack.
Let's not be shy, bro. The big guys are stacking machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, have you got goals? Yeah, to stack all the machines at FLF.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
That's always my goal.
Yeah.
I don't overthink it. I'm like, I want to put this. I want extenders. I want to use the 25 kilo plates.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the goal. And so long as that's you're progressing that way, your form doesn't take a hit. And like, obviously, this is going from what Jamie asked me about my dressing and that. I take pride in everything I do. You know, you look at me lifting. I want to do the best set. Like I wouldn't care what you think. I will move that weight. They say, oh yeah, this is the people with the tempo. I don't give a shit. I'm following principles, not opinions.
Yeah.
Are you with me? And the most muscle damage occurs through the eccentric phase. I think that's a general consensus that we cannot argue about.
Yeah.
So we spend time where there's the most value in the movement. So I will move my weights how they need to be moved. And then when it's a bent over row, I will move it aggressively. Because of the goal of the set is to move as much load as possible. Are you with me? Then after I do the bent over row, you will see me moving like an orchestral conductor.
Yeah.
But I've been aggressive a minute ago. Rah, rah, rah. Then everything from there has a go.
Yeah.
But when you go into training without objectives from set to set, then you end up confused.
Yeah.
Then you look at your phone and this guy you look up to has said this. You go into the next post, the other guy who lives in London is saying that. You look into America, the other guy who was fifth at the Olympia is saying this. We're all a mishmash.
I remember one thing that both yourself and Cuba actually said to me once when I was filming both of you in different sessions, is that you perform every rep, like a working set, wherever, as if Jordan's sitting there watching you do it, so that it's not fucking sloppy, but the intensity is there, the intention is there. So that's, I guess. And also, disclaimer, Oscar said any 17, 18-year-olds on about doing this. 30-year-olds that didn't start training until they were 30 as well, they're the same training age. If you're training age is...
I was just speaking about the bulk of my followers. That's why I'm very specific on my post, because I know who I'm talking to. The guys who know, that's fine. You do you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to sit on a high horse wagging my finger down because I don't know myself. I'm learning as I go. And that's why I'm surrounding myself with people who know more than me. All my friends have got more money than me. All my friends are bigger than me. Are you with me?
Yeah.
I'd just rather be there as the smallest fish in the biggest pond.
100%.
Are you with me? And I know one thing, one mouth shut, 2 ears open.
Yeah.
Game on. I can never lose.
No. I think you're always growing when you're around bigger people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just got to know, be the last one to talk.
Yeah.
And then it's game on. Because these are people who've walked before you. Where you're going, they've been.
Yeah.
So then you can avoid making certain mistakes because they've made them on your behalf.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you did this. So when they tell you, oh, don't do that, that's dog shit, do that. Yeah, sometimes you have your part which is curious, and then it's always very valuable to read your own book.
Yeah.
You know, then you learn from it. And it's always the best lesson. You're like, oh, fucking hell. But there's a time for everything when it comes to training. I just don't like talking much about it because there's a lot of camps now and a lot of people having subliminal digs at each other on socials.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, I like coming on a podcast like this because it's very little about bodybuilding and more just about mindset.
Yeah.
We try and keep it away from bodybuilding, but it ends up going there.
It loops back.
I'm nothing against bodybuilding. I love the sport. But the amount of bickering and the amount of bitchiness and the amount of subliminal shots that are being thrown left and right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So I just sit in my lane up north, and and I just stay out of it because I haven't got time.
Yeah.
I haven't got time and energy to do that. They're like so many people need help. I'd rather invest my time to these people.
Yeah.
Speaking on time, because
Where are we?
that battery is like on single figure percentages, which is Oscar's camera. These two are alright, but we've got like, I think we're close to an hour and a half anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unless there's anything else we want to get into,
The only question I wanted to ask, Jay, was have you started prep yet?
Oh no, I
Oh no.
you'll fucking know. 6th of March.
Soon, isn't it?
6th of March. I got 6
a bit longer than I thought.
So I'm just holding where I am now.
Wicked. Good.
Yeah.
And are you planning on competing this year, Oscar?
I will compete. Listen, guys, I love competing. I love pulling my weight down and pushing it back up. It's hard. It's why I am where I am today. I just don't have enough muscle. I'm not going to go into open bodybuilding where I need to take more time off. And I love competing anyway. I've said before, I define success on my own terms. Whether you think I should have placed or not, it's irrelevant to me. I'm the one who puts the work in. I'm the one who's on stage by myself. And the people who support me, obviously, just support me regardless, unconditionally. But I'm back out asking questions in classic physique. At some point this year, we're very relaxed with Jordan. Last year, I remember coming from Dubai and Jordan going, right, shall we pick a show? That's how relaxed we are. So I don't know much now. I've just been, I come off back to 125 test. And I think we're just going to have a flirter this week. With try and titrate the assistants up and see what we can do. But until there's anything to show, there's no need to pick a show. We've got shows now till November.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Plenty to go at.
There's plenty to go.
What is the gap you've got to get in? The weight.
The weight cap. So I've got. Listen, if I weigh in at 94, I'll be happy.
But what was your last show? 208.
Yeah, I swear.
£4 for 212. But then, what was the amount of weight you could grow for the classic class? You got a bigger gap.
I've got 2 to 3 kilos. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So a little bit more, but you're more fitted to them style of physiques than 212. So 100%. That's a lot more weight, kind of.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. My physique is, and the competitors are sort of my height as well, so we can be judged. Fairly. Jamie knows a bit about being judged about height, so
a little
I wouldn't
bit.
go into that.
Just a little.
I wouldn't go into that. So in the 212, I was like Jamie in the open when he's up with the gods and everyone's down here. Crazy. So I was like that in the 212. But listen, Romania, I've got nothing to say. That's the best show I've done ever. People kept telling me that before. Oh, you're gonna enjoy it, and really lived up to expectations. I'd love to do it again.
That's one show that I'd like to do, to be fair. That Portugal show.
Yes.
Prague.
Yes.
There's a list of shows that have got a really good reputation.
Yes. So you go Italy. I think you go Romania, you go Italy, you go Portugal, big man. And Prague. Where people are just passionate about bodybuilding.
That's it.
Honestly, the way they took care of us there, the stage looked like a disco. Like the lighting, it was just like I was just like wow, all through.
Man.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like, so who knows? We go again. In between, there's nothing to be done. We just go underground, and that's where the work has to be done. Back in the foundations, and what most people are struggling with on social media is people want to broadcast. People want to have news all the time, to announce and make an announcement, and it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to have no announcements to make. Just stay underground and work on your house, and when it comes up, trust me, people will see it. People will see it for what it is. But keep everything boarded and stay in there and just work, and there'll be a time to make announcements. But when you're living off, because when you make an announcement, then there's this response, and then it makes you feel a certain way, so then you're trapped. And this is why people post checking pictures every 2 weeks. It's like nothing's changed, mate.
I don't even bother looking
Yeah,
at them.
yeah. Nothing's changed. Just carry on working.
Yeah.
We're all on the same boat,
Yeah,
and none of us can go around time.
definitely. Like you're saying, unless you've got something to show.
Yeah.
I know I'm still as shit as my last photos, so.
So then you focus on other things. You know, like
Yeah.
you got clients, you got this, you got your family. There's always things to put your focus on that will then come back to BB.
You'll have a little reset now once you get this trip out of the way next week.
Yeah. I've
I
got
think
Canada.
with Mutant.
Yeah, I just want to be healthy so I can train hard, and you know, we got sponsorships to fulfill and people to keep happy. And
Yep.
you put a lot of pressure on yourself, like I said.
Yep.
But we're here. This situation, we deal with it.
100%, and that's important.
Yeah.
Just the ability to be in a moment and not think too far ahead, because this is where we've got control.
Yeah.
We don't have control about yesterday. We don't have control about Canada because it's not here.
Yeah.
Who's to say it will be there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just have to be grounded in the moment. This is where the beauty of life is, and it's where life is about moments, and this is it.
Yeah. No, for definitely.
Yeah.
Ending on a deep quote as we started, mate.
Yes. Yes.
Is there anyone you would like to shout out before we wrap this up?
In what way?
Just sponsors.
Sponsors. Yeah, obviously. Listen, I've been very vocal about my love for Jordan. Jordan is one of the most important people in my life. I've said it to him. I've said it on my posts. He's very pivotal in my life. So if I drew a circle and I was in the middle, he'd be there with me. You know, and I think I'm planning to go see him, maybe if not this weekend, next weekend. And I just enjoy spending time with him, because when I come out of there, I've got so much to think about. He just shows me how shit I am, shows me how complacent I am. You know, just through the way him and Corinne do things.
Yeah.
They're like a well-oiled machine. And then you think you work hard, and then you go and see them. And, you know, it's a joy to be around them. If you're someone who likes to progress, and if you're someone who can take an honest, thorough self-inventory of yourself, and just call yourself out on your bullshit,
Yeah.
then those are the people to be around. They don't have to talk.
Yeah.
You just, if you observe,
watch.
you will call yourself for a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, that, you know, Jamie was part of the team, so Jamie will resonate with what I'm saying. You know, Jamie still friends with Jordan, and that's great. You know, and that's another reason we're going to train together. A friend of the brand, even though not with us anymore, very missed. But yeah, they're my sponsors, trained by JP.
And where can the people find you on Instagram if they want to check you out?
Yeah, if you want to find me, I'm on young_4040. I don't. That's the name Instagram gave me. To be fair, it doesn't mean anything. People ask me what 40. It doesn't mean anything.
I've been telling my own story on your name. I thought it was. Isn't Jay-Z's club 4040?
Yeah, it is. But
And I know you're a big
got
Jay-Z
nothing
fan.
to do with nothing. Yeah, honestly, so it's just.
I've been telling everyone else because of Jay-Z's club.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's not. It's just you can find me there. You know, just nothing. Just a bit of training here and there, and a deep dive in a ramble.
Yeah.
Every now and then. But yeah, that's where we are. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And yeah,
Job done.
job done. Maybe
There we
until
go.
next time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, so thank you for watching another episode of The Beautiful Struggle. We will get another one back in when you return from your travels.
Yes.
And continue to push the guests.
Definitely.
So one last one, please subscribe to the channel, follow the Spotify, 5-star ratings, and all that jazz.
Perfect.
Boom.
Peace.